Okay, we're on.
How you doing, Dan?
Very well, actually. Thanks.
Awesome. I just want to start by saying I am so grateful that you invited me to be on your show, your channel. I've been a long time viewer of you, and to say the least, I've implemented most of what you're saying to your vast audience into my daily life, and it's changed me in ways you couldn't even imagine. So I appreciate you bringing me on and sharing the space together.
Okay, well, great. Thanks for sharing that, Matt. Just someone said, "Hey, we've seen the protocol for like 13 years. Why aren't there any testimonials?" And then you called for a consult, and you have a decent testimonial, I think. We didn't talk about it too much, but I wanted to share what stuck out was the story about your dad. I mean, you're
Hmm.
obviously doing incredible. So,
Thank you.
I just wanted to talk about, well, this is kind of a testimonial for the 90-day heal all protocol, which I've heard hundreds of stories, and all my friends, if they don't do the protocol exactly, they utilize the herbs, for different things. Some of my friends, they'll have all kinds of different issues, and maybe they have an affordability issue or whatever, and they can only afford like one or two things. I'll get them on that, and it just helps. But people want to hear a testimonial. So I guess I'll start with you. Then I want to, I guess your wife, your kids, your dad, your brother, the whole family is thriving, utilizing the DTM, concept. So let's see. Tell us where you're at right now, as far on your journey with the pro.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll tell you a little bit briefly. So I have been a whole plant-based living foods. Um, I've been living that lifestyle for the past 9 years. So in those 9 years, I've utilized a extended juice cleanse every year. I learned that from John Rose, actually. I was a follower of John Rose, implemented his solid food vacation, 90 days. The first year I went 107 days on the juice cleanse. Saw a lot of success. I did that with my brother. We learned from there, and then we went on and said, "Hey, it clicked." So I implemented it with my wife, my dad, my sister, and some family friends, and used that in a coaching setting to where I've helped a lot of people. So I've done that for the past 9 years, and where I'm at right now, I'm on day 60. I think it's 62 or 63 of my ninth juice cleanse. However, this one's unique because, like I said, I've been following you for a long time, and I've been using Puradigm for a few years now, but I've never implemented it into a solid food vacation. So I thought, being my ninth, I'm pretty clean, right? With respect to, the chemtrails and our environmental toxins and neighbors' dryer sheets and all that stuff you can't really avoid, But the things that really just like really get to me, I just want to be far out in the woods somewhere, completely, untouched by that. But the ninth year, so I decided to do something different, and I implemented the core four, the heal all protocol, like you have touted so many times. And I thought, gosh, I got to get on it and see what this is truly about. Go the distance, go 90 days. And so, day 62, 63 right now, I can't even tell you the vast difference that I have seen after 9 years thinking that you're nice and clean, right? I mean, I've documented it every day from day one. My weight, my bowel movements, and what I've eaten, and all the supplements I've taken. And every single day, without fail, the cleanse powder, the Purazyme, right with the herbal blood, and then the Pure Life every day consistently. And I can tell you, I've never seen such, um, you know, old matter coming out of me. I've never felt my brain be so clear, so focused, and have so much energy on, this many days in. The other juice cleanses taught me a lot of things, but this one sets it apart, and I owe that all to utilizing Puradigm and your Heal All protocol. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm feeling pretty darn good. I took a break from the juice cleanse to implement. I'm on a 10-day water fast right now. So it's a little different. I'm not utilizing anything during that fast, but once I break my fast with, juices, I'm going to be right back on it to finish out the 90 days. And I'm looking forward to it because I've had nothing but positive results ever since. So
So I think that just from what you told me, I don't think what I was surprised with was your extensive experience prior to the Heal All protocol, you know.
right.
And so you're not just some dummy off the street that's been eating cheeseburgers and stuff, and then all of a sudden, will you drink some juice, take some enzymes, you know, and it's like a miracle, and everyone's like, well, just because you stopped the cheeseburgers, but that's not really the case with you. You've been on point for many, many years.
Yeah, and it was 35 years standard American, living to the fullest extent. I mean, when I went and ate my food, it was go all in, it was dips, dressings, sauces, everything you can imagine, full on for 35 years. Then I found you with various other people from footage that I started watching from the Woodstock Fruit Festival. And I started watching lots of videos, testimonials, and I'm like, gosh, start implementing instead of reading these books and hearing all this information from everybody. Take a lot of people's advice, such as yourself. Hey, you could read all the books in the world, but until you start implementing it with yourself, you're never going to know. So I just dove right in. I'm like, hey, okay. I went raw for about 6 months, and then I came across John Rose, and I was like, hey, you know what? Time to take a solid food vacation. Test an idea whose time has come. It's like, okay. 2 days later, bought a Norwalk cold pressed juicer, figured it out from there. I mean, it was really learning on the job, with my brother by my side. We really just sat there in the Whole Foods parking lot. Okay, we're going to do this. Let's do it. And let's just go. So we started pressing our juices, and, we implemented that, and we never looked back because it was such a powerful experience. So, I did have a lot of extensive, um, experience beforehand. But that also opened up the pathways to understand that, hey, look, it's not just one way all the time. So I started branching out. And when I really started honing in on your message about the supplements, because I learned from the natural hygienists as well, pure, 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 all this stuff all the way through. And I'm like, I felt like I was just missing something. Something felt a little, I would have my workouts and stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but I didn't really like being that lean. And I felt good mentally. That wasn't there. I felt good physically otherwise, but it was just like I'm coming from an athletic background, and I worked in construction, had a very active lifestyle. And I was just like, I just needed something. And I started paying attention to what you were talking about. I'd heard you talk about Puradigm for so long, and I had to kind of get that purity, natural hygiene lifestyle. I had to kind of like, hey, let's look at another option. And I started really paying attention and researching Puradigm and everything. And I was like, okay, 3 years ago, I started implementing it, not in my juice cleanses, but in my daily life. And it was day one when I talked to Phil. I got a consultation when I bought the initial package, got on the phone, consultation with him. He said, take out 10 Lifetime, pop them in your mouth, chew 'em, let them sit there, see how long it takes to dissolve, timed me and everything. He's like, now chew them up and swallow them. From the minute that I swallowed those, it took about 30 seconds for me to feel this like a euphoria. And my family did it. My wife, my two boys, we all did it at the same time. And Phil asked us, hey, tell me how you're feeling right now. And it's like, wow, Phil, is it normal? And I'm kind of feeling like a rush of just like I took like 10 deep breaths all at once. And he's like, is the power of the enzymes. It's not only bringing oxygen into your body, but it's already going to work. It's already going to work, breaking down that, all those undigested foods, and it's delivering them. Now you're readily available to absorb those foods that you have eaten, whether it be raw or if you add cooked food. It's now breaking those down. Now you're able to absorb, utilize all that, and it's really getting your body on to a different pathway. So, um,
Yeah,
three
Phil's
years
really
ago,
smart.
oh
Phil,
man, that guy.
man, Dave is really the guy. Dave is Phil's son, who's a
Okay,
nephew. Dave is the guy that deals with everybody around the world every day. And they've been doing
yeah,
it for 3 generations, since it first started.
yeah.
I've been just trying to get Dave on here forever because he's just like, I mean, he makes me look like I'm dumb,
Oh
because he
wow.
really, really, he just knows everything about the enzymes and how they work. And whenever I listen to him, it's amazing. I've been trying to get him on for years. Maybe he'll see this video and, um, decide to join me anyways. But so you're kind of like the healthy guy that just got healthier. But so do a maybe because I'm just so the thing that I knew would help people before
Hmm.
too far into it was just your
Sure.
dad's story. I mean,
Sure.
because your dad represents everyone else. You're like this relatively healthy guy. You take the Puradigm, you're on a juice cleanse, you're feeling fantastic. Okay, so people are
Right.
like, okay, so what? But when you
Yeah.
tell that it was your dad's story that I think was what I was like, that's the testimonial. So tell me about what happened with your dad.
Sure. It was 2019. He came to me and he said, "Look, I need some help. I'm obviously I hadn't been feeling good for years before, but now it's starting to come to a head." My dad, when he approached me, came to me. He was overweight, had high blood pressure. He's type 2 diabetic. He had macular degeneration in his eyes, and he was desperate. He was looking for a way out, and I said, "Dad, I know a way. We can do this." The amount of lymphatic stagnation that he had in his body was to the point where he had this unbearable burning within his body all over, and he was constantly itching, and there was nothing he could do to get rid of it. It was day and night wouldn't allow him to sleep. And I said, "Okay, we need to stop everything you're doing. We need to get you on a juice cleanse. We need to cleanse out your gastrointestinal tract. We need from the top down. So you're chock full of stagnant, old waste, cellular debris, everything." So we got him on the journey. We implemented the Core 4 Heal All protocol from day one. And I said, "We'll start you out gently with the cleanse just because you haven't, we don't want to do a shock to your system or anything like that." So we got him on the Core 4 Heal All protocol, the cleanse, the Purazyme, herbal blood, and the Pure Life. And I was going, I started him out slowly, which is probably not as slow as usual, but I was doing 2 scoops of cleanse in the morning with his initial juice. And then his second juice of the day, I was doing 10 herbal blood, and I was doing, oh no, I'm sorry. I was doing 20 herbal blood and 20 Purazyme. I was hitting it pretty hard, trying to
Actually,
get everything.
that's your slow approach.
Yeah, I know, I know. And then at the end of the night, we were doing 20 Pure Life with his final juices. And his juices were orange juice with the cleanser, um, your beauty juice, the red juice with the herbal blood and the Pure Life, and then the lemon ginger blast, which is super powerful. It's my favorite of all time with the Pure Life. And so we got going, and he would do periodic doctor's appointments, right? Because he wanted to know, hey, is this a safe thing to do? Is this, the way? Because coming from a standard American, not only diet, but lifestyle, born in the 50s, that generation tends to listen to medical doctors, right? And they kind of follow, hey, if they say this, this, and this, I'm going to follow this. But I had to kind of, instill it into his mind that, I mean, there's a famous quote, let medicine be thy food and let food be thy medicine, right? I'm like, Dad, you don't listen to those people. They don't know anything about how our body works. They know the nuts and bolts and all that stuff, but they don't know enough about the lymphatic system and such. So when we got his mind to wrap around the natural way, um, I said, okay, keep your medical appointments and we'll track this thing. So, day 7, he went to his doctor, and no longer did he have the markers for type 2 diabetes. So, in 7 days of utilizing whole living food, pressed juices, Puradigm, he was already no more type 2 diabetes. And people cannot even wrap their minds around that. But it's one of the easiest things to get rid of. High blood pressure, type 2 diabetes gone within, short
Yep.
amount of time. It's all dietary choices. We all eat our dis-eases, right? And it's hard for people to accept that. They're like, well, we've done this our whole life. We felt good our whole lives. And when you actually get at how they've been feeling, they really haven't been feeling that good. And when it hits that brick wall, then it's like, oh no, now it's dire time. So, but I'll get back to that. So 7 days, no more high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes gone. And so he was locked in at that point. So we kept on it, kept juicing every 4 days. We batch juiced for him so he would have juice readily available at all times. And then he started noticing, he's like, gosh, my itching is not, it's not constantly all day now. I'll get some bouts at night. I'll get some bouts here and there, but it's kind of like, hey, what am I missing? It's like I'm not used to like, being bothered all day. And he started seeing what I believe it to have been was the overflowing lymphatic stagnation kind of slowing down at day 21. And at that rate, I was like, this is a good sign. So then I started upping his cleanse powder. Then we were doing the triple dose. That's my like daily dose when I'm on my solid food vacation. So I love the triple dose. But when we upped that triple dose, it was day 30, I believe. And he came to me. He's like, you know what? I said, hey, Dad, how are you feeling? Are you getting woken up in the middle of the night by your itching? He's like, Matt, you know what? I don't even realize what happened, but I haven't itched once. I don't have that burning through my body. My mind is so clear right now. And I was like, Dad, this is great. This is a great sign. Keep going. You go with the positivity. You take all the positive moments that you get and you throw anything else that kind of makes you take a step back. Like, oh, today wasn't maybe I didn't feel that good. I'm like, you're gonna go through ups and downs through a cleanse. There's no doubt about it because you have a lot of, built up toxins in your body and stuff. So you'll have high moments and you'll come down, but guarantee you're gonna go back high again. 30 days in, no more itching, no more diabetes, no more high blood pressure, and he was shedding weight like you wouldn't believe. So overall, during the whole protocol, he lost 80 pounds. And he went the distance. He went the full distance, lost 80
90 days,
pounds of weight,
90,
90 days.
90 days.
Yep. Yep. And so he had lost all that weight at the end. But the big poignant moment, I think, during the cleanse was day 70. He went and saw his eye doctor. And he went to do his eye tests and everything. Like I said, he had macular degeneration. He was almost legally blind at that point. It was so bad. And he went in and what he discussed with his doctors and during the tests and everything, the doctor, this is coming from my dad. He's like, man, I went to the doctors and you wouldn't believe what happened in the office. And I was like, what? He said, the doctors could not believe my results when they scanned his eyes and did all that stuff. And then they had him reading the charts and doing all that. They stopped. The main doctor went and grabbed two of his colleagues, said, "Come in, you got to see these results. You got to see what's happening." They looked and they said, "We absolutely don't know what you have done. What tell us, please tell us what you've done." And my dad, that's when he likes to hold keep his cards at, he's like, I'm not gonna tell these doctors what I'm doing. I'm gonna just see the results, and then, when the time's right, I'm gonna let him have it. So he did, I know, I love it. And he loves to do that kind of
They'll
stuff.
discourage you. The
Yes, oh,
doctors
of
are
course.
the discouragers of health.
Yes.
Oh, you're getting
Yes.
healthy. We must stop this.
Yes. Yes. His first
That's their training.
uh yeah,
That's
it is.
training.
It really is.
Don't
And
have a disease that they try to find one.
yes,
That's their training.
exactly.
That's why I try to, like, if my arm gets cut off, sew it back on, patch me up and get me out
Yep.
before you start loading me up with pills.
Exactly. And that's what happened with his first doctor. And that's why he decided to hold his cards close to his chest, because his first practitioner said, because he said, "Yeah, my son has me on a juice cleanse and we're going to do all this." And the guy's like, "I want to caution you severely from going down that road. It's dangerous. Is your son a medical practitioner?" The general stuff that,
I've done this for 25 years, bro. I've heard it all.
yep, you've
That's why
heard it
I
all. I
tell
know.
people, be intelligent.
Yes.
Because I got I'm like paranoid, delusional conspiracy nut, but it
Oh,
turns
yeah.
out
Same here.
yeah, the doctors,
Why are they all coming true?
yeah.
Why are all the conspiracies coming true?
I don't have anything
Um,
against doctors. I understand their training. I
sure.
understand the American Medical Association's
Oh,
foundation
yeah.
roots. And although there are certain obvious implications and emergencies or people with severe mental challenges, so
Oh,
my
yeah.
my philosophy is that like 1% of the pills that are used are useful, but
Right.
76% of Americans are on one or more pharmaceutical medications.
Oh,
And
I know.
by stories like this, that it's not necessarily, but your dad's story is amazing. So let me
It is.
recap it, and then I want to get any more details you want to share. I decided we would go and do this, run this like a podcast or whatever. But he lost 80 pounds,
Yep.
essentially cured blindness. Uh,
Yes. And that's what I wanted to, before you go, I forgot to get that part in. He went from almost legally blind to back to 2020. He was legally 2020 at that meeting. That's why when those doctors came in, they said they didn't know what to believe. And that's when he told them, "Hey, this is what I've been doing with my son." And they said, "Well, then, you know what? There is nothing else we can provide for you in our services. Please continue following on with your son. It's obviously something we could not have provided to you."
yeah, exactly. And at
So,
least the honest ones know that. A
yes.
larger percentage of them, their egos are damaged or their paradigm is blown because for them,
Right.
there is no cure. There's only management of symptoms
Yep.
until you die, fat, festering, blind, rolling down the street, gasping for breath. And that's
Yep.
the whole reason why I've just done what I've done, because I really do believe that health is the cure for all disease. And I just think that shouldn't that be, and then people you say that to people and some people freak out and then some people are in shock, but the vast majority of people don't they never thought about that. Wow, health is the cure for all disease. And so what I've been trying to do is just teach people how to get healthy on all the multiple levels. And then what I came up with after Tavis, Lou Corona, Dr. Morse, and 100 other mentors and teachers and Hilton Hotima. And what I did was my best to design something that was doable, that was it has a people need a structure, you know,
Yeah.
and then they can also function in life because at the end of the day you don't just put people on a water fast. It's just
Right.
gotta prep them at least. I mean, you can, but it's better to prep for a few weeks or a few months but then, the incremental water fasts, as you get more experience, you learn that the short ones interspersed with better eating are actually better for the modern man with all the toxicity. That way you can go two steps forward, one step back, and you can keep moving forward instead of people hit the ground running, they get excited, but then they hit the brick wall, then they're right back over there in the drive-through, So I
Yeah.
found this was just the best thing on multiple levels that I could come up with that was going to be able to help the most amount of people with the people that I deal with, because I do see, the raw food people, right? Like, yes, you don't need anything. I mean, honestly, I really don't think that hybridized Costco seedless fruit would be what I would want to build my body on all the time. So
Right.
have a like you said, and I really respect the natural hygienists, a lot of the fasting institutes, the fasting coaches, the raw foodists, they're natural hygiene, level 400, intellectual stability. But
Right.
after years of doing this and having more advanced awareness of more, I tend to want to approach things from more of the level of the 500s and kind of even transcend the intellect a little bit more and bring in some of these herbal technologies, which are these
Absolutely.
formulas. Because the herbalists, before the AMA took over, the herbalists were always the ones that had the results, the Gerson therapy, the Hoxie, uh, I'm not going to say that word, but the Hoxie blessing.
Yeah.
And the SCIAC, just to blast out. So, anyways, I appreciate you sharing all that. It's so exciting for your dad.
Yeah.
And I guess should we? Well, now let's. Is there anything else you wanted to share about your dad's transformation there?
Yeah, and he actually and I left I did the big ones because those are the results you can see, the blood pressure, the diabetes, all and everything. He had actually come back after ha suffering a stroke and everything. So he had, which his stroke did not impair his speech or physical movement or anything. It was more of a what's a low level stroke, right? But he had symptoms from that were completely reversed as well from that. I think that's just as, important and fascinating, but not so much on the surface, as like, hey, you got your eyesight back, or, you now have no diabetes, all that kind of stuff. So he is well on his way to recovery, and I'm implementing daily juices for him right now, and still on the core four protocol. And so this
So,
isn't something where, yeah.
well, there was the 90 day, the initial.
Mhm.
Then
Yep.
I guess, I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up, but I guess your dad kind of slipped back a little.
Yes, that is,
Now you
yes.
got him back, and he knows
Yep.
this time, and
Yes.
maybe it'll stick. And I've seen this, I've been doing this a long time. And though that's the key is to just keep moving forward and try to
Exactly.
find a way to where you're not like, well, I'm going to do this 3 day smoothie cleanse or this 7 day thing. It's like a long-term, persistent
Yes.
commitment without being militant and like
Yeah.
whipping yourself to death or starving yourself to death. There has to
Yep.
be a balance in all of this too, within life. And so there's no one size fits all, but one thing that works is if you feel like crap and you're bogged down and you're overweight and you're having any of these or many more, the heal all protocol is just designed to get you to another level, and hopefully you can get to another level and decide you want to keep going because you can become fascinated with the next level.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Then it becomes more of a real spiritual journey too if the consciousness expands that much. uh,
Yeah. And I was gonna say, as you start unlocking, you get those days and weeks and months behind you. It doesn't become a such like a rigid, hey, this is 90 days or this protocol. This, it just becomes a part of your life. And then, I transition my clients after we do, we're doing the Puradigm now because my clients, when I say I'm like, I've recently coached my wife in an extended juice cleanse with the Heal All protocol as well. But now, and I really tell her, this is a good starting point. You've done the cleanse and all that stuff, but now you don't stop here. We're implementing the core four every day, but now that she's transitioning back into daily life and she's getting fit, and I do it with my boys as well, and my brother does it. We implement, the raw life protein, the aminos for working out because it is unmatched. I don't. You can eat all the fruit you want and everything, which is great, but until you really experience the power of the raw life protein and the aminos, you really see your fitness levels just skyrocket. Not only that, you just have this mental, you're clear. You feel fit because you are fit, but you're having all these living foods in your body, these enzymes that are really going to work in all parts of your body, from your brain all the way down to your toes. And it's all a whole system from that step through the cleanse, the herbal blood, the pure life, the Purazyme, all that stuff. In even in our daily life, we do utilize the Lifezyme, even as mostly I'm like about 98% raw foods, right? My family eats whole plant-based foods, a lot of living foods, but they do have made from scratch cooked foods. And I say, hey, follow what the DTM is telling you. 10 Lifezyme before you eat it. Eat your yummy meal, and then 10 right after that, and you're going to have no problems breaking all that food down. It's not going to stay stagnant in your body. You're going to utilize all those vitamins and nutrients, and you're going to keep things flowing. So we don't stop it at a protocol. We continue it on as a daily life, and then we're just seeing
So
nothing
your
but
wife
improvement.
and boys are utilizing the Lifezyme when they're eating cooked food, and they
Yes.
obviously tell you that you can see
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even as teenagers, having them giving me feedback unsolicited, just like, oh gosh, we're just, it's like we feel more energized. And then my whole family gave me feedback. They're like, Dad, really, it's like we're having like better bowel movements. We're having larger bowel movements and all that stuff. And I'm like, there you go. It's starting to break down. You're not holding that stuff now. You're actually being able to pass all of it because it helps you break everything down and utilize it. And it's just fascinating. When I heard that, I'm like, gosh, as a father and a husband, you're just like, you want the very, very best for your family, right? I mean, everybody does. So, but when you actually hear that feedback, you're just like, Puradigm, I am on the right course. And this is no question about that I'm utilizing it for from here on out. So,
Nice, man. So I guess like your wife is benefiting, your kids are benefiting. Obviously, you are, your dad,
yep,
and I guess
yep.
your brother also is
Oh man,
your
big
partner in
time.
crime.
My brother is
Crime of
has
living
this
healthy.
exactly the crime of spreading the truth about real foods. Yeah, he's been in it since day one when we decided to take that plunge. Um, he was very overweight. He weighed about 330 pounds, and he came to me and he's like, "Hey, I got to have knee surgery. What do I do to prep for it? Because people are naturally scared to be put under and going into surgery, right?" And he had torn his meniscus and stuff, 330 pounds. And I said, "Hey, well, why don't you look at this? Just for his surgery was in like I think 30 days from that time he came to me. I said, "Hey." um, John Rose told us like if you need to start somewhere, pick your favorite fruit and eat it for 2 straight weeks. So my brother, I told him, hey, what's your favorite food? And I could do that with bananas. I'm like, go get a case of bananas, let them ripen, and then start smashing in bananas for the next month. And he did so. He lost 40 pounds just just by eating some bananas. When his surgeon was like, we don't know what you've done. He's like, well, this is what I've done. They're like, well, this is amazing. Okay, well, now you're definitely in no, risk of having your surgery because they were concerned because he was overweight. Um, had the surgery and came off of it, and that's when we were together in the truck, being like, well, hey, why don't we not stop here? Why don't we take a juice cleanse? We do it, jump in, and so he's been with me 9 years doing everything that I've done. We're like a mirror of each other. We're very close. We've worked together most of our lives. We still work together, and he has thrived just as much as I have. So he went from 330, and I think now he was talking to me. I think he got down. He was about 200 right now, and he's a bigger guy. Like he was a football player. He was an athlete. So 200 on him, he is, he's twisted blue steel.
Yeah.
So,
So he lost 130 pounds, and not
oh
on
yeah,
protocol, but on raw foods.
yes, and yes,
And
but
the protocol too is, and he's been using that recently as well.
oh yeah, when I started it too, I told him after that initial consultation with Phil, I'm like, Eric, everything that Dan was talking about, I mean, it's true. I tested it on myself with my family. You wouldn't believe the feeling you get from this. And so he ordered his packet, did a consultation with Phil, went through the same thing. He was like, Matt, you're right. He was like, man, we got that rush. And so we just started implementing it in our daily lives. He just completed a 60-day juice cleanse with the Heal All protocol. And I mean, like no other. Like I said, he's already been in great health these last 9 years because we've done everything pretty much the same. And he's just like, man, it skyrocketed the whole experience. And I mean, he's as devout as I am. He's like, when he's off and he's already off and back into his life. So I'm kind of like looking at him like, oh, I can't watch you drink the malto meal. I'm jealous. But
The
he's
raw
back
muscle
in.
meal.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, you are not lying. I mean, when you said that, and being a kid from the 80s, knowing what, malto meal was, because I used to eat that every morning. Um, yeah, we implement it in our pre-workouts and all that kind of stuff, but he follows it to a T, the raw life protein, the aminos, and then the core four. And he even does he works in the MSM as well. So I haven't had a chance to try that. I want to, but yeah, my brother is thriving. I mean, very sharp. He's a very smart guy. Memory like crazy. So all of this kind of just keeps within that balance, and it has changed so many people's lives and my whole family's life. So I owe everything to you know, guys like you, guys like John Rose, people that I've learned from over the years. And then, learning from the actual practice of Puradigm, I am so blessed and so grateful.
Okay, well, there's a couple things. So the malto meal, just in case everyone's
Oh
wondering,
yeah.
is the Puradigm Natural and the Life Essentials with coconut water. And you just stir
Yes.
it up and it's a
Yeah.
delicious drink. And you know, people are like, I don't need no protein. And I'm like, well, you don't
No,
really need it because there's a little bit in the fruit and stuff. But if you
sure.
add it in, you'll
Oh, it is.
rip.
It's like on a different level.
Yeah, it is. And people are doubling, and there's nothing wrong. Just I don't believe there's anything wrong with utilizing. And that's been my experience. All my friends that are like masters, like Tavis, he uses all kinds of weird stuff for
Oh, sure.
infinite numbers of clients. And in fact, Tavis has everyone on the Paradigm now,
Yeah.
just like Lou. I mean, Lou, he uses all kinds of weird stuff and he keeps it all secret, because
Yeah.
the people aren't ready. They want to be going to Costco and eating hybridized Costco fruit. And that they're not going to have the edge, because they're going to
Yeah.
be staying stuck in those old school paradigms, which, hey, if it was your grandma's, a great grandma's fruit, maybe it was different, and you
Right.
keep it fresh and everything like that. But my friends that are the ones that inspire me, they use all kinds of weird stuff. They make all
Oh,
kinds of moppy ass, weird, crazy, super ridiculous stuff that tastes like crap, but it's got just so much. That's how they're able to stay so strong and healthy and work
yeah.
16 hours a day. Another thing I
Yeah.
wanted to say through all this was that, Lou, you said you started him out slow, your dad, but that was a little bit more than the protocol. But then
Sure, sure.
he's just way up there. He'll get you,
Oh
you'll be
yeah.
having like, I mean, you'll be having like 10 of each, like 5 times a day with juice, when he's dealing
Yes.
with people that have serious issues and he's only got like 7 or 10 days to work with them. He just blasts them, and
And I totally believe in that. Yeah.
you have to have the affordability. I've never found the top end, and the more that you take, the better you feel, you know.
Yes.
And so the other thing that I wanted to mention was that you mentioned it a couple times is the consult, the free consult that you get when you
Hmm.
order the starter pack, and then Phil or someone over there runs you through a series of tests and then helps you to decide what's going to work best for you.
Oh yeah. What I loved, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to before, we talked in our consults, my thoughts get away and I go down a different alley. But
Yeah.
from when I first called Puradigm, it wasn't even Phil, but it was the person that I talked to on the phone when I called. Every step of the way before I even got to Phil, it's a family run operation, and everybody is so knowledgeable and so friendly. They take their time. They're not trying to rush you off the phone or anything. They'll sit there and tell you about how their family uses it, how their children implement it, with brushing they chew up the Pure Life and brush their teeth with it at night and all that kind of stuff. So I learned, hey, like Dan isn't just saying this stuff. It's practiced from the actual people who are bringing you this. So Pure is brought to you with loving intention first and foremost. And then if they can educate you on and um, you have that mental fortitude to actually accept it, and then you go further, then Phil's there giving you the consultations, then you can implement it and find out, oh, for yourself, yes, this is what they're saying. So it's coming from a loving place, and you can feel it from the minute you talk to the first person you talk to all the way throughout. So I mean, as pure of a company as can be out there, nobody tests every single batch coming in and going out, you know? The organic, it's kind of, I mean, organic is great and all, but they're testing, like you say, one out of every 20 batches, and a lot of, stuff gets missed along the way. But Puridyne, it's not even about a profit thing. I know the mission statement was much bigger. Lou was, told that he is going to open healing centers all over the world, and this is what he's utilizing Puradigm and the profits for to one day see his vision come to fruition. And so it's coming from a place of love and blessings because he was, shown this in a near death experience. So he truly, truly wants everybody to prosper. And the ultimate goal is to see this get out to the world so everybody can, you know, get away from their dis-ease and
I'll tell you
ailments. So
another thing is that family is praying in the name of Jesus for everyone who's watching this video right now. They really
that's amazing.
on a mission, you know. And that's another thing too that just kind of popped up because all these questions are popping up in my head because I get questions every day, lots of them. And
Mhm.
one of them is that there's a reason why there's never any sales. And that's because it's already as low as it can possibly be. This process of purity for the enzymes and the herbs and the bottling and everything, there's no wiggle room. They have it just enough just to keep the company viable. And
Right.
so that's why there's just never any sales or anything. And I understand, some people are just super blessed and they can just blast a whole bottle of Purazyme every day. I know
Yeah.
very, very, very rich people, and I know, you know, um, people that don't have much and they have to be only can take like one thing. They have to pick one
Sure.
thing out. And if I had to say one thing, I would say probably the the flagship is just the lifetime because most
Yeah.
people are still eating cooked food and you want to just keep, you know, you don't want to rob from Peter to pay Paul. So you're every time you're eating, heavy food, cooked food, it robs your enzyme potential from your mouth to your pancreas. And that's why you're dad was able to, and I've seen it. I've seen the diabetes gone. I mean, in Dave the Raw Trucker, it was green juice and enzymes, and he went to his doctor 4 days later, and it was
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's an amazing transformation. Not everyone's going to have that exact story like your dad, 7 days or
Sure.
whatever, but it can be very rapid. Within a few
Mhm.
weeks, you can just
Oh
be
yeah.
off all of the stuff if you stick with it. And I know it's hard because the hard part is the psychological, the attachment, and those are the things that you just got to find a way, and I've been having to work at it very hard because, coming from my background, being addicted to like everything, food is the final drug to conquer that's there to celebrate. It's there when you're sad. It's there when you're lonely. It's there when you're bored. It's there when you're excited. Food for every, that's how our
Yeah.
society is. And so getting over that, that's why I've just tried to preach compassion as much as possible, understanding. There's so much division in this world today. I think everyone needs to take their way and just understand, and be accepting of other people's journeys along the way without criticism and whatnot. So, anyways, I think that was really great, and we got it done in a decent amount of time. I was willing to go like an hour and a half, but I think you
Yeah.
summed it up really, really well. Just
Yeah.
your dad was kind of the amazing because that's the average Joe. You're like
Exactly.
relatively healthy athlete guy, just keeps going up and up and up. Okay, so
Yeah.
no one, people are like, okay, you were skinny and now you're still skinny. That's how they
Right.
meet. But it's like it's the people like your dad who would fall more into the category of this is the average American. Like
Hmm.
70% or something are overweight and 50% are obese,
Yes.
And these you can just get this system ripping, and just
Yeah.
rip it all up and break it all down and flush it all out. And that's all I'm
Yeah.
trying to say for all these years. And so I'm gonna
Yeah.
just keep doing this thing because it's a great platform. It's a great structure, and the people are just no matter what, even if they just start with one fresh juice a day and a handful
Yes.
of enzymes. And but I've seen the cleanse work miracles too for people that just can't poop. You know,
Oh, the cleanse is out of this world. It's amazing. And it's a gentle thing. It's not like, you say it all the time. It's not like, oh my gosh, I got to rush to the bathroom or anything. It's a nice, slow, gentle process. But when you do use the bathroom on it, it's actually a very pleasant experience. You're like, wow, I just feel that much lighter. I've moved so much bulk and it wasn't painful, it wasn't distressful. And it wasn't a rush thing, it was just a gentle thing. And that's where the herbs come in. It's very, herbs are the ultimate medicine. So I think if anybody needs a true testimonial, it's great that you can have people talk about it that have implemented it. But really, when it comes down to it, John Rose says this all the time. It's like test an idea whose time has come. Test it on yourself, and then you get to really decide, hey, is this worth it or not? And I guarantee you, 99% of the people, if they take Puradigm and implemented it in any form of their life, whether it be like you said, the cleanse only, or just the lifetime with their cooked food only, or if they implement the whole protocol, I guarantee you they will be back guaranteed. So it is that powerful of a product, and I'm fully behind all of it. And I will continue my life utilizing it as long as I can.
well, I mean, your story is cool in that you were already, in my opinion, like a professional. Like you really had done all the work with you and your brother for all those years, and then you noticed.
Yeah.
And that was, you told me this before I even asked you to do. You thought you were just talking to me. So then
Sure.
I said, "Hey, man, do you want to share this on a video?" So this isn't.
Yeah.
You're not just. saying this because you're a DTM fan or whatever, but it's just
Oh
like,
no.
yeah, exactly. So that's what, that's what gives it good weight. Coming from me, the number one salesman of the company, no wonder. But the thing is, you know, why am I the number one salesman in the company? Because of
Hmm.
how it saved my butt when I went to the hospital and they napalmed my gut. And that's when you
Yeah.
learn how important the microbiology is. When you go in, I had food poisoning and then they just nuked my gut under guard. They put a guard outside my door. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. They're like, no, you're not. So, anyways, it was a weird experience.
Yeah.
I had to sneak out of the hospital after they had napalmed me with like 20 rounds of antibiotics. So I was pale, white, ghost, walking dead man.
Yeah.
The life regenerator was just dead. And I remember Sergey Boytenko wanted to do an interview with me. I was dead. I mean, I was so gone. The microbiology of the gut is so intricately connected with your brain. My brain didn't work. And he was like, oh, these raw vegans are retards because they
Yeah.
had napalmed my gut. And then we had this interview thing and I was just gone. So that's why I say, Puradigm is fertilizer for the garden of the gut. In the modern world, so that's kind of where the hygienists go wrong. They're not
Yeah.
thinking they're getting organic Costco fruit, so they're generally fine. But the average person is exposed to an unbelievable amount of enzyme inhibitors in the processed food and the antimicrobials in all of the plants and the bleached lettuce and the glyphosate and the herbicides just and constant inundation. So when you can
Yeah.
bring in something positive, one thing I've learned, now this might not be true for everyone, but there's a lot more money than there is discipline in the world, you know?
Yeah. That's
There I
true.
there's a lot of guys that have tons of money, but they're like 40, 50, 70, 80 pounds overweight and can't walk up a flight of stairs without wheezing like they're going to die. So,
Yeah, that's true.
it's just these are just offerings, that can make
Yeah.
better for somebody, and especially if you take it to the level.
Yeah. And I made it a point. I found it so profound and it was showing so much benefit in not only my life, but everybody that I implemented it to, that I decided I had to take on a second job just to afford it, because that was all I saw moving forward. I was like, okay, I'm not getting rid of it because it is so important, seeing your family's health just skyrocket in a positive way. I was like, okay, what do I need to do to ensure that we can continue having this part of our life? And so you do what you got to do, take a second job, and that's what I did. And I will never let it go away. I will always implement it because it is that powerful, and it's better than organic living foods. So it's everything I believe in. So
We might consider becoming an affiliate, actually, bro.
yeah, absolutely. And I had,
Yes.
yeah, that would be great. And I know I told you, hey, Dan, we're gonna do another consultation because I want to talk to you about some other things. But yeah, I would definitely love to do that and get everything going because I do health coaching and I do consults. Obviously, not as vast as you do, which would be a great goal of mine because I do like to help people. I do want to see the shift in people and how they feel because there's a lot of sad people in
Yeah.
the world, as you well know, that are dealing with things that we don't even know about, and we oftentimes like to judge these people as, oh gosh, they're a real a-hole out there. Why are they, this and this? But you don't know a person's story. And I just want to see if I could help chip away some of those hard edges from people and see them come to the light of like, gosh, there is a way better way, and help them with the utilization of whole living foods, Puradigm, positive intentions, gratitude, giving thanks to our beautiful creator. You call it, like you say, call him, whatever you call it. It's all one source. And I want to see people reach that true potential and realizing that and live live a healthy, happy life because everybody deserves that. So I'm
Yeah.
very
You,
grateful to you.
hear all the
Yeah.
stories,
Yeah.
it'll change you. You won't be such a
Yes.
snooty-nosed influencer punk.
Nope. You're
Like,
right.
because you got your own, and that's like, okay, it was not that great. But then when you hear all this stuff, you're like, you're humbled,
Definitely.
I've been, because I've done thousands of consults, and every single person is so different. That's why my job has honestly been become a lot more difficult, because I've heard stuff that is very politically incorrect,
Mhm.
counterintuitive to what people did, my own clients, of what they've done. I leave that off, but there's a lot more going on out there than just some little teeny tiny niche concept that you write
Right.
your ebooks and you say you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. I mean, it'll open up your mind, it'll open up your heart to
Yeah, it
the
does.
essence of what, this protocol and these types of things, they have their place, but you don't want to limit it either, because there's a lot going on underneath within the human consciousness, and everyone has different karma, and
Oh
everyone has
yeah.
different sticking points, and really there's always these underlying issues, and you can't just be a coach and yell at people for being an undisciplined slob.
Right.
I don't feel like that works. I mean, it's amazing how many people have told me about the coaches that just think that way. Anyhow,
Hmm.
I believe that the compassion is the key, and love, to
Truly is.
after you've been through thousands of consults, it's the most rewarding part of this job. The social media is like clown world, on
Oh
steroids,
yeah.
but real people like you that come along every once in a while, and see, I get to talk to people like you, all the time, but
Yeah.
you're not really out there as much, sharing your story. And so it gets drowned out
Yeah.
in this world of saturation on social media. So I
Yeah.
appreciate
Right.
you sharing your story. Is there anything you want to share in the last couple minutes?
Gosh, no, the only thing is give my gratitude to you first and foremost, to the guys who like really have paved the pathway for myself, my brother, my family, and I've already mentioned him a bunch of times, but you and John Rose, are like, John Rose states it all the time, we're all just standing on the shoulders of giants, right? And that's what I feel I am. I'm standing on your shoulders and you're standing on the shoulders of, Lou Corona and all those other great leaders and teachers that came before us and that helped us, open our eyes to the true potential that we can be. And if we're just compassionate, we're patient, we're loving, we're open to understanding everybody is in a different state in their lives and nobody's the same. And if we can just give everybody love and compassion, and just try to, you know, teach them there's better ways along the way without being forceful. I think that's the best way moving forward, that we're going to eventually chip away and start getting everybody coming on board with us, and then they can, stay one day they're standing on our shoulders or something, So, but I just want to give gratitude for you for everything that you represent and everything that you've brought to the world, because I mean, you have changed a lot of people's lives, and you might not realize that, but you definitely changed mine. And I'm really appreciative, and I'm appreciative of Lou Corona and Puradigm, their whole family, and just want to say I'm so grateful to be able to share the space today with you. So
Well, I sure appreciate it. The folks at Puradigm will appreciate it, and everyone that's at home listening to your story. I hope they're excited to,
yeah.
take their health into their own hands.
Right, right. And one day I will make it to Kauai and get to climb trees with you and cut them down and crack one and enjoy it. Because I've always been so jealous. I'm like, gosh, I just want to have that living coconut right off the tree like you always show.
That's
I'm like,
my day today,
man.
right now. I'm so excited. I'm going to go climb
Oh,
a cocoa tree and go for a
nice.
long, long walk.
Yeah, that
That was
sounds good.
one awesome hour, bro. So thanks.
Great.
We'll
Yeah,
we'll talk again soon, okay?
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Dan.
Thank you. God bless
All
you.
right. You too.
Aloha.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon,
Peace.
Matt. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Aloha. Cool. And